Welcome to the Unconnoisseur channel, everybody. This week, we had an opportunity to talk about Komeda Quintet, the music of Krzysztof Komeda, and the impact that it's had in the Polish jazz music, as well as the impact that it's had on the U.S. jazz scene. This week, Matt and Phil and I got into a really great conversation about jazz music, about Poland, and the impact that it has had worldwide. This week, we have decided to cut this episode into two pieces. Yeah, three brothers having a conversation about anything can get long. So we've split this up into two pieces. First part, coming up right now.
My blood pressure is.
Why is your blood pressure up?
Oh, teenagers. We're not live or anything, so I can
Not yet.
drop some teenage.
Well,
it's dropping nuggets. You're dropping nuggets here, and
Yep.
So it's when it comes to music and musicianship, if it's just a solo person on stage all night long, it gets really long. And if you have practiced all day, all week, all month to be by yourself, and you get on stage with an unknown group, you've got to figure out how to jive. But week after week after week of learning how to get into the synchronicity with one another, it takes time. And for us three brothers here, we came up together. I know which buttons to push.
We played jazz.
To push them. Oh, we played jazz. We
did.
We folk from Black Codes. Matt was just talking about that album. We know what it's like when Mama's about to break out the wooden spoon. And Matt's always there to remind us, "Ooh, you gonna get in trouble."
I told you.
You're gonna get it.
And so I think that when you start dealing with living in a tight space, traveling as a family for 2 months, you're going to have some tension. It's not a counseling session. No, we're talking about jazz, but it's the same thing. For Lily and I, we spent 2 hours recording some stuff together today, and there was tension. About 15 minutes in, I got up and started to walk out.
You got to think how much went down in those rooms, right? On when they were recording, right?
Yeah.
Those guys didn't always just get along, right?
Right.
There might have been, this was crappiest bull that we ever had to put up with, and we still had to finish this stinking album. And the emotion might have gone into them, right? And emotion is there.
Well,
so it's got to be to feel it, right?
Typically, you got a leader though, and so the trumpet. You're talking to Miles Davis and this, that, and the other, and here comes Gil Evans and says, "Look, guys, we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it right this time. Miles, hit that note, please. Hit your note." And then we'll be done, and you can quit complaining.
Yeah.
Well, and Matt, you know that from an album we were listening to last week. Is that what you want, Alfred?
I'm still curious who Alfred is, because that's not his name.
No, Alfred Lyon. He's the producer of the album.
Okay.
I saw that in the clip notes after a couple of days. I was like, oh yeah, Alfred Lyon. He was there at RVG Studios.
Is that what you want?
And Miles didn't do a lot of takes when he recorded, so his band just come in and went, "Oh crap, what are we doing?" He threw some charts out and said, "We're gonna play this." Oh, let's do that again. And he says, "We're not recording that song again. Move on." and so in the recording studio, you can imagine what's it like for 8 hours in a recording studio going over the same song over and over.
Oh yeah.
And I liken that to your current situation, living with the boys again at home for 2 months in a tight space. Cut, let's go, let's do it again. Cut, let's do it again. Take 25 and you'll have 100 a day for 2 months. So
But the other point was he didn't think that he'd have anything to say tonight about the artist. And you know what? We should probably start the episode. So, hey everyone, welcome to the Unconnoisseur. My name's Matt. I'm one of the co-hosts.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Drew. Hey, we jumped off into this because of just situations and such. Having little brother here reminds Matt and I both. I'll speak for you on this. Phil didn't jump in at number 100, and he hasn't come down to where we're currently at 76. So these little nuggets of trying to build Matt, I remember being at 76.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I remember a few weeks ago and a month ago when we looked at an album and said, why the heck is this even on here?
Mm-hmm.
How did it make it to the Jazzwise 100 that shook the world? It doesn't make sense. And in over 24 weeks, Matt and I have had that opportunity to glean that information. And then beyond that, we're at 36 anyways in our own personal world. So we've had 64 albums to really start to ask the question. So Phil, I want to say this. Your input is more valid than you think because this is where we started. This is where we are. Cool. So this week's album, I'll go ahead and introduce it. It was number 76, Komeda Quintet, Asthmatic. It was in
astigmatic.
I'm sorry. How did you introduce?
Astigmatic is how it's pronounced.
Komeda Quintet. I got that part right. And this time I did say the year right. It was 65.
Yes.
Astigmatic.
There you go. Yep.
Astigmatic.
I looked it up on Google today and had it announce it, right? Because I do that for language all the time. And attaboy is the attaboy. Astigmatic.
Okay. Okay.
How did you say it?
You go talk. Yeah.
Astigmatic.
Yes, it's astigmatic. You go talk to an eye doctor, and I looked up the name.
You too?
Yeah, they call it an astigmatism. So it's
astigmatism.
Astigmatic.
Astigmatic. What is astigmatic then for an eye?
It's
Stigmatism.
An astigmatism, yeah.
An astigmatism.
It's a defect in the eye lens, and it makes everything blurry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which explains a lot about this album. Because when I looked it up, I'm like, oh, I can appreciate this album now. My eyes are crossed going, what the heck is going on?
Oh, I didn't think it was that bad. This was Krzysztof Komeda, and it's the Komeda Quintet. So let's do this. First of all, the week. We kind of started off with Phil, so tell us a little bit about your week.
Yeah, my week. My week in music? Are we jumping into there?
Just your week in general.
Oh, good. Well, my week has been teenage boys doing their first road trip to Michigan. They went up to Grand Rapids. Brady's had his license a total of a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. And so let's just say I get the send them off and pray like crazy. As they're pulling away, I even told Scotty stupidly, I said, I'm just waiting for the call. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I'm just waiting for the call. Yep, was looking at that, ran off here, did that there, whatever. And she's like, you're not helping. So we sent them off. They drove all the way up on Friday night, made it all the way to Grand Rapids, called us at like 9:45, should have been there by 8. I'm taking that stress. But then they came back last night, showed up, were exhausted, tired, spent the weekend at a lake, had a blast with their friends, enjoyed the total time. They only got lost once, blamed it on Google, almost ran out of gas. What a road trip. And you know what I thought of, Drew, is you and I went to visit in Chicago when it was like 40 below, something stupid like that. Do you remember that trip?
Oh, all too
I'm thinking back. Why did mom and dad let us do that? What were they thinking? They were probably thinking the same thing I was. See you later. Well, hope you make it. Pray hard and trust God.
Okay, but honestly, that was before cell phones too. Something happens on 40 below zero on Highway 30. There's nowhere to pull over and just call. You got to walk.
Nope.
Yeah.
You got to walk.
Yeah, we'd have been dead. Oh yeah, and we were in that little Ford Escort.
I think it was the Ford Escort. Yeah, 1984 Ford Escort, prone to blowing head gaskets and cracking heads. Yes, I know that car well. And then think about it, Phil. Beyond that, then we ended up driving to Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
We did a bunch of big road trips when we had first gotten our license, but the trip to Chicago was a big deal.
Oh man, yeah. Especially
So
driving through
you
Chicago.
understand why mom and dad always said just hit your knees and pray. Pray
Yep.
for the kids because you know what they're going to be going through. Pray for
Yep.
them before they're bored. Pray for them when they're bored. Spend your
Yeah.
life praying for your kids because one day they're
You
going to
never
go take
know.
a road trip to Grand
That's right.
Rapids, Michigan.
Right before they left, is they left to work on Friday morning, so we didn't see them through the day. Then they took off straight
Oh,
after
man.
work, and I just told Caleb, I said, "Be careful, seriously, be careful." Yeah, okay. And I went over to Brady, who's driving. Caleb doesn't have his license yet; he's just got a permit, so he can't even drive at all. And I said, "Hey, be careful." And Brady starts, "Yeah, Dad." Walks away, and I said, "You look at me. You got precious cargo, man. You got my son in there, and you got you in there. You're both my sons, and I care about you. Be careful." I'm not kidding. All good, Dad. All right, yes, sir. So when they got back last night, Brady goes, "Hey, do you know that van can do 100?"
No,
I'm
he
like,
did not.
"You are not helping yourself."
That may be the last time you take a road trip in my car.
Uh-huh.
Actually, he's buying it.
Yeah,
He's going to buy the rust bucket.
He's gonna buy it.
Rusty.
Okay, then it'll be his, and he can do 100. Ask him if his
This is
last will and testament is ready.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, okay, but
Yeah.
they went to Michigan. There's really no speed limit in Michigan, even though the sign's posted 70.
Yeah.
They do not care. They drive 90, 95.
Dude,
Boom.
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah, they don't care about speed limits.
You're gonna have to slow up for the potholes and crappy roads anyway. I guess they figure.
Yep.
So it's crazy up
It's
there.
crazy.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you'll get run over if you're not doing 10 over.
Yeah, easy.
Yep. Well,
Crazy.
I'm working through, and I'll shift to my week so that I can follow up on that. I'm also going through teaching Lily how to drive, and it's more about guiding than it is teaching. And last night we were doing some driving, and some reason the neighborhood road, which is usually pretty dead, there's everybody on it. So she's going through traffic, and I'm like, I feel so bad. But my reminder to her was just think about it. If you're coming down the freeway or coming down our highway here at 620, and the right-hand lane is doing 10 miles an hour over and the left hand's doing 15, do you do the speed limit? I mean, by law, you have to. You should. Yeah. But the reality is, for safety, keep moving at a pace. And so if Michigan's doing that, then by golly, hammer it. And that's what I think about Houston.
We do not endorse speeding on the Unconstitutional.
That's what I think about Houston. Speed limit signs are posted everywhere, and everybody's doing 100 miles an hour down the freeway anyways.
Yeah.
This week, I finished all my video master classes and combos, so I am done looking at what I would have later said I've learned a lot from this year's doing video. Video and audio especially. And man, I kind of admire your Zoom H1 that you were using for the big band, because I wish that would have been on stage this year just to record everything all week long. Photos, videos, they're finally done. I'm super excited. This week we're coming into the July 4th, so this will actually come out after that, a week later. It's Sarah's birthday on July 4th. And so we're having some people over, not to rub it in, but I'm doing about 8 pounds of carnita meat. So we're having a big festivity here. So we're preparing for that this week.
Don't worry about it. He's making carnitas for us when he gets home too.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Make a double batch.
I don't know about that. I'm thinking about, can I get a big enough outdoor propane torch to make enough carnita meat for the family when I'm there? And then,
I'll just do my pot. Mom's got a pot.
There you go.
We'll do.
She's got 4 burners. We can tear the house up.
Yeah.
You use crock pot?
No.
Is that how you do it?
No. I'm gonna smack you silly. You've been in Romania too long. This is Texas carnita meat. It's all day, baby.
Don't talk about Mom's pot here, nor Matt's pot.
So this week I'm going to practice. I'll send you all some pictures just to rub it in. But so we're preparing for that. It's going to be a great week coming up, and it's been a great week finishing up here. Lily's just now 15 on the 10th, and she's going to be sitting with you guys. She'll come home probably the week this actually comes out. So she'll be sitting with y'all, and she'll have a week without parents, which I know she's looking forward to. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about your T-shirt and what's going on.
Oh no, this was Elkhart Jazz Fest T-shirt. We've already talked about Elkhart Jazz Fest. That was last.
Are you done talking about it, or you want to talk more?
Oh, I could talk for hours about Elkhart Jazz Festival, but that's not where I was this weekend. I should have worn my Summerfest shirt though. Kendra and I had the opportunity to go see our favorite band, Need to Breathe, open up for Keith Urban, and we had to drive to Milwaukee to do it. Now, when I bought the tickets, it was just, I thought, it's just a concert, right?
Yeah.
Well, we get up to Milwaukee Saturday afternoon, and we're having lunch at this little pub, and we're asking our server, our kid, oh, hey, how's traffic going to be down there? Get to the stadium or whatever. And he's like, stadium? No, that's at the Summerfest grounds. And we're like, Summerfest? What's Summerfest? And he's like, oh, that's a big music festival. It's going on right now.
No.
So we finished our lunch. We hopped in the car and we drove to Summerfest.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So our Keith Urban tickets got us into Summerfest. Otherwise you had to buy a ticket. But once you're in, there's 5 large stages and several 15 or 20 smaller stages where there's music going all day long.
Yeah.
Now it's not jazz, but we did hear some good music. I'll tell you what.
It sounds like an ACL Fest kind of deal. You get in, and there's multiple stages, multiple bands, just a whole lot of music hitting you.
And in Milwaukee, they've got this area right along Lake Michigan set up for these kind of festivals all year. So there's restaurants. Restaurants. There's food vendors, but they're in buildings. Oh, they're in buildings, and buildings built, and they've got barbecue and gyros and pizza, and I mean anything you want, and the large stages, and of course you're in Milwaukee, so they're serving you Miller Lite and Leinenkugels and everything else. So bada bing, bada boom. The Dandy Warhols, we checked out the Dandy Warhols. They were good. They a good hard rock.
Warhol.
Yeah, Dandy Warhol. We checked out a group called Suga, which they were actually pretty good.
Suga.
Suga. Sugo. Sugo. Yeah, Sugo. And then the one that we really, really liked, it was right before Need to Breathe and Keith Urban. This guy's name is Donovan Frankenreiter. He's kind of like Frankenreiter. Yeah, Donovan Frankenreiter. He's kind of a easy listening, almost like Paul Simon kind of groove. But man, he put on a heck of a show. His drummer was going nuts. And that's the funny part. You're sitting there watching live music, and again, I felt surrounded by my people because we're all there for live music.
Yeah.
And the performance on stage, and then we had never heard of this cat before, but there's people up dancing and singing the words and everything, and I'm thinking, man, he must be big in Milwaukee, but he's big everywhere, and I just didn't know about him. But on the way home, we decided to play some Donovan Frankenreiter, and not the same feeling.
No.
It's
you're right.
It's like you need to be sitting in a hammock, sipping a beer next to the ocean kind of vibe on even multiple albums that we checked out. You don't get the pumped up excitement.
Yeah.
No.
There is something to live music. There's something with that atmosphere, the energy. I won't take too long on this one, but the first concert I went to after COVID was actually in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We went up.
Oh, yeah.
We went up and got to see a whole music festival. It was there in the arena, though. It was indoor. And being in live music again was like, oh, yeah, I like this. It got us so pumped up for our festival that we were doing over in Romania.
Yeah.
That's when we got to meet a couple of those guys, talk with them, invite them over to Romania. But when you're there, there is a feeling. Yeah.
We're going to have Delaney on one of these episodes and talk about her thesis for her senior project and the paper that she wrote. We'll get a lot more in depth with being there.
Yeah.
Her thesis paper was really well written. So, so Keith Urban actually had 2 openers. Alana Springsteen, which is no relation to Bruce. She's a country singer, and She put on about a 30-minute show, and you know what? She's got a really good voice. We did listen to some of her music on the way home, and it was different because on stage, you know, she's full of energy, this, that, and the other. But even then, listening to the album on the way home, you still felt that energy.
Mhm.
So she put on a really good performance. Need to Breathe. I mean, come on. Just come on. You can't beat it. Seth, unfortunately, the bass player wasn't there. So they had a
Okay.
fill-in bass player.
That's funny that you know that. Because you follow them, so you're like, no, there's not their bass player.
But anyways, and then, you know, I'm a Keith Urban fan, but I'm not a super fan. And I listen to his music, but I don't pay a lot of attention to his music. And Kendra started listening to his music and said, it's kind of mellow. I'm not sure what he's going to do on stage for a show. Oh, we were blown out of the water.
Really?
We were blown out of the water. He connects with the audience so well.
Yeah.
So much.
Performer. Yeah.
He's a performer.
Yeah.
After the very first song, there was a couple holding up a wedding invitation. Come to our wedding. We're getting married in October. He kneeled down and played them a song acoustically. He said, well,
Wow.
he made a big deal of it. He took the invitation and he said, oh, October 28th. Oh, man, my wife's birthday is that day and I can't make it. So I'm going to sit down right here. I'll sing it for you right now.
No.
And she got to pick the song and he played it and sang it on the guitar. Okay. So that was the first thing. And then
that's crazy cool.
Just the show, just his performance. He's an amazing guitarist. Amazing guitarist. Near the end of the show, he walks out onto this small platform stage and does another acoustic number. He signs the guitar and hands it to a lady.
No way.
He does that every show. He does that every show.
Just hands his guitar off.
Yep. An acoustic electric. Yeah.
Wow.
Connects with the audience so well. He had us singing, you know, he's doing the whole choir leader thing. Hey, oh, hey, oh, oh, hey, oh, hey. And
bringing it in.
Bringing it in.
That's
it
really
was just
cool.
so much fun. So much fun.
Really
so
cool.
yeah, we had a great weekend of music at the Milwaukee Summerfest.
That's awesome, Matt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you'd have paid the ticket the same price no matter what?
No.
Or how did it go for their days?
No, a daily ticket is $20, but that does not get you in to see Keith Urban.
Because it's at a different place where it's not accessible.
It's at the same place, but that's an extra special. I mean, you had to buy the Keith Urban ticket. So we bought the Keith Urban ticket, but that got us into Summerfest.
All the rest of them.
Everything else. But if you just walked up and said, I just want to be here for the day, it's a $20 ticket to get in, and then you have access to everything except for Keith Urban
for that final show.
Yeah. And now that's in a big amphitheater, the American Family Life Insurance Theater, amphitheater.
Cool.
And
cool.
Huge venue, and it was packed. I mean, it was packed.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So anyways, that's a long story about my weekend. Great week.
You live an exciting life, and I love hearing what's going on. Go ahead, Phil.
He better not miss this.
But why?
Because his wife may listen to this.
She will.
Why?
Will. It was our 34th wedding anniversary.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh yes,
yeah. Good.
You've been married twice the length that I have. On the 21st of June, just a week ago, we celebrated 16.
Yeah.
Hey.
Congratulations.
So 34 years. You're
34.
old.
We got married when we were 12.
Yeah. You darn near did.
Right.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, you kind of were. You were a youngins.
19. Yep. Turned 20 on our honeymoon.
Right.
Yeah.
You were on honeymoon, couldn't drink beer.
Couldn't drink beer until we got to Mexico.
There you go.
You know, Mexico, New Jersey, Michigan, anything goes. All right.
Hey, wait. You can't leave me out because I got to mention that my wife may watch this too, and she'll be like, why didn't you say 25 years this year?
Nice, man.
25.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, 25, Drew.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So, hey, hang on. So all of the anniversary years to say this, Phil or Matt?
Yeah, mom and dad are 54.
55, I think. I'm 50. I'm 53
They're
years old.
coming to their anniversary this this month.
Mhm.
And it's 55.
55.
55. It'll be 55.
It'll
Yep,
be 55.
Yep.
Dang.
So congratulations, Mom and Dad, celebrating
Absolutely.
that anniversary.
They
Absolutely.
can post in the comments what they think about us not remembering.
Right? I'm gonna blame it on you.
Definitely call it.
I'll be like, the good son doesn't remember.
Yeah.
But you know what? We had good role models. We had a good role model,
Definitely.
and our dad and our mom, the role model that they set, our grandmas and grandpas,
Yep.
our mom and dad, their friends
Yeah.
were our role models as well
Yeah.
in marriage.
Yep.
And so this isn't a marriage podcast, YouTube channel, but man,
But
what,
if you do it to Jazz.
Oh, Phil, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Yeah. If you're gonna do it,
Look over at
commit
the
to it,
slide.
lock down and go with it.
lock
You know,
down and go.
16,
Might as well.
34,
Free flow
24.
here and there. Throw a couple things in there. It didn't make it easy, right?
Oh man.
Easy.
So
Never
speaking of
easy.
jazz, back to
Yes.
the album. Let's
Back to
roll
the
on.
album.
Astigmatic Comedic
That's-
Quintet.
Yes.
Tell me, Phil, what was your thoughts on the album this week?
I literally tried 3 different times to try to make it through it. Because all I did was just said, I don't want to know anything. I don't want to study anything. I just want to hear the music. So I just played it. And then I went, I can't. So I stopped it. And I played it for the family. And they were like, please turn this off. Like and you hear the atmosphere in 2 rooms living together. It's a tense place anyway. So we didn't need any extra tension. And seriously, the word there is what we said. There's just tension. That's what we felt when we first listened. There's just this tension
Okay.
in the music. And so it drives tension, and we couldn't do tension. So I had to cut it off there. I've made it all the way through, the whole 3 songs, which were, man, what was the first one? Like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Not,
3 songs, and the album is 46 minutes long. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a 17-minute song in there.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. So, and this is my 3rd album. I started on Indo Jazz.
Right.
So,
Well, and we had a banging week last week with Herbie, though. I mean, that was an easy week to process. Listen to Herbie is easy, kind of not easy listening, but easier to process Jazzwise than Comedic Quintet. So, and you were reluctant to come tonight, and I'm so glad you did, just for that fact that you have a different viewpoint, because we're 24 albums in.
Yeah.
And Matt, I got to be honest. We've talked about this so much over the show. How our week has been influences how we hear the music. Imagine a good and happy week when your kids aren't at home, when you've had the freedom to go to work and come back. Imagine when you're not stressed about them taking a road trip, and that you spend an hour just chilling. I know where you're staying at when you're in the States. So go sit by the pond, turn this on, and pretend that there's not complete chaos. So how our week is shaped also shapes what we're listening to. And I think that's relevant to what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to encourage you to go listen to it again, but but put it on a list and go listen to it one day.
So what kinds of things did you hear, or could you glean? Did you do any research? Did you do any research about him after you listened to it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my process. So I went through, and this is what I wanted to do. I'd never heard of him, so I wanted to just listen to him. Then I wanted to go do research. But initially, the thing that I thought was, okay, this is cool because there's a lot of repetitive, right? So right, as that got stuck in my head, and I went, okay, cool, I can do this style of jazz. And then they threw some of that free form, it's called
avant-garde,
avant-garde stuff, right? They do some of that, and it's like, what, no, give me back to the steady. I really appreciated that at first. Like, just give me some steady, because it's not a bumblebee, but it's kind of jumping all over. But there were two horns playing simultaneously doing that, and that's where I went, okay, cool, I can do this guy. Then I went on in that first song and went, this is crazy.
Yeah. It's funny that he says that, because I made that in my note too. The head on song number 3, Svantetic. Yeah. My note says that the melody throughout is catchy, but you want to? Can we play a clip?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's play the first 45 seconds of song number 3, Svantetic.
Yep, here we go. I'm going to drop that in right now.
Yeah, you hear how the melody is, like you said, it's repetitive.
Yep.
And it carries through, and that melody actually carries throughout the song. So it kind of does get stuck in your ears, but then they go further out, they go further out, they go further out, then they come back and play it again, then they go further out, out.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely.
Yeah.
And you can appreciate that, because if not, it just feels chaotic.
Okay. So what else did you learn about Komeda that would influence how you listen?
Well, part of it's kind of hard to realize he was only alive for another year after this album, right? So that's 68, and he died in 69, wasn't it?
Did it come out in 68?
It came out in 65.
It came out in
65. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it was the movie.
Rosemary's Baby.
Well, a lot of movies. He did a lot of movies as I started researching. So I went, this guy's, he knows his stuff. This isn't just some random Polska guy, whatever. So I started the appreciation trail down there. And once I connected him, I didn't do your separation, whatever.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, but I did do other artists and realize, okay, there's a Swedish guy, these Polish guys, and then the German who's there on drums, isn't he on? Yeah. And
Rune Carlson is his name.
When I searched who he was, I went, aha. Okay, so that was some of my research. Then I went to, wait a second, how old was he when he died? And then I went to, because it's right there on the bar that I was searching, how old these guys were. They were in their 30s. They were young guys. I think Komeda was the oldest guy that was there.
Yeah. And I want to read something on that note.
Okay.
This came from Michael Urbanik. He was one of the players that worked and studied under him. He was like a father to us all. Not only a great composer, but also a mindful band leader. He wanted us to play on the edge of harmony, to take the risk of searching for difficult notes, and after a short foray into different musical galaxy, to return safely home each time. And that touches on the father figure, and it searches going further and further and then backing up. So go search for something.
Here's the cool thing. I didn't even read that article, and that's kind of how we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw it, And this is the fact. He really did that.
Yeah, that's what the gentleman Mikel
right there.
Urbanic had said. He wants us to push further and further in the harmonics and then come back. Go search the galaxy and come back. When I heard that quote from him, I thought about when Wayne says to his players on Zero Gravity, go fly with Miles and then come back. And then when you have a chance to go float with and play with, you're going out to the outer edges and then just come back. And that's what I thought about. All right, here's where we're going to hit the air brakes and watch everybody fly right by. Stay tuned for part B of this episode. As we said at the beginning, we have broken it up into two pieces. Both of them are out by now. So as you watch this, follow up with the next one. I'll put the link right above me here. We'll see you on the next part. Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of this episode. As we were discussing, this was Komeda Quintet. Astomatic was the album. And we had ended the first part with the quote from Michael Urbanic. He was like a father to us all, not only a great composer, but also a mindful band leader. He wanted us to play on the edge of harmony, to take the risk of searching for difficult notes, and after a short foray into a different musical galaxy, to return safely home each time. Well, welcome back, and without further ado, let's roll part B.
Yeah.
So please, I continue, Phil, because...
So wait, how that just connected though, because this is what we do with our kids too. And we started this episode by talking about sending them out and just going, I want you guys to succeed. Go out there, have fun, be careful, come back. But really, that's how we parent, right? I mean,
isn't that a father figure?
It totally is. And you're saying that makes it just even more so, man. That connects to the weak, next to our points.
But he still had that stress of sending his kids out. And the music definitely didn't help his stress level.
No,
sending his kids out.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how life collapses around us right here in this conversation. It not full circle, but it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Well, jazz is life.
Football is life.
Football is life.
Jazz is life. So here's the other interesting fact that really got me is music wasn't even his true profession. He was a doctor by trade, and he was a doctor of laryngology, which is a doctor of the larynx.
Yeah.
He went to school to be a doctor, and he was a doctor. Jazz music was, I don't want to say secondary, but man, he had a full-time job, and then he would come out and do jazz.
Yep.
Did they have to back then? I mean, we have the joke about starving musicians, but would they have gotten paid enough to live? Like these guys were cutting albums, maybe. Did they have to have?
I think yesterday and today, Matt and I have talked about this before, Phil, and I think you're right on the point. A lot of wider records come out so that people can hear what we're playing so you can come see us in the clubs, where we can put tip jars out and actually make a little bit more money. So do the records make us money, or is the live music that makes us money? Komeda at that time, you got to wonder in 1965 in Poland, where was it coming from? And that was my rabbit hole about Poland at the time. I had a note here about what was going on at the time. And think about Poland for jazz. Do you play it or do you not? And Matt and I have talked a little bit about this after the war and things that have taken place. And I can't find the note right here.
Hey, while you're looking for that.
1958, after Stalin's death, jazz in Poland gained renewed freedom. Dave Brubeck visited Poland. The nation's jazz scene was influenced by cool jazz. So in 58, after the fall of Stalin, jazz was renewed. And so we're talking about just 7 years later.
Yeah.
do you think that was some of his influence then in writing? Because he had to have been composing and writing before that, because he's got albums out before Astigmatic.
Yep.
So I was having a hard time finding his influences. You wanted to say something.
Well, because of the way in which Stalin, which Germany, like you think of how it influenced, and this is a little caveat here, but when Romanians explained to me how I would have to understand what they went through with communism, this is how a neighbor of mine explained it to me, who's a journalist, right? So he's good with words. But he said, you would have to go into a room for 50 years in the dark, hearing nobody, getting nothing, and then turn on the lights and go. He said, that's what it felt like to be in communism. That's what it felt like to be here. So it's really easy to just be like, look, man, you're 30 years out of communism. What's your problem? Why aren't you guys like, no, you don't get it. You don't understand it. So I really have this appreciation, because that's what I started studying then. It was Poland was 3 different countries at a time as he was growing up, man, the turmoil that he went through. So craziness goes into that. And I can a little more appreciate the communist thing and the wars. Like, yeah.
Nuggets.
You know what? It's interesting, Phil, because we said this to begin with. You bring more to the table than you think you do in this conversation. And part of understanding where this album comes from is understanding, Matt, you know the quote all too well. You got to go there to know there.
Yeah.
And because of your conversation with this gentleman, you understand what's going on during that time period. And so what's really happening, and it takes us to his life and the movies, the film score. Was he quick to get out of Poland to go do some other music? Absolutely. And who did he end up working for? And so, wow, what nuggets, what truth bombs.
I'm telling you,
just
man.
like, boom. How do I follow up with that? Well, I got to listen to the album.
I got to follow up. But I can't use the way we used to tell Polish jokes, okay? I'll go funny, and then I'm going to go really deep, okay? So just ready for this, because this Polish guy tells this joke, okay? He's standing in his yard. This American guy walks by, and he's got a measuring stick, and he's reaching all the way up to the top of this pole that he's trying to measure. And the American guy comes up, and he goes, hey, let me help you. And he sits the pole down on the ground, and he puts his measuring stick out, and he goes, look, it's 9 feet tall. And the guy goes, or 9 feet long. And the pole goes, you dumb American. If I wanted to know how long it was, I'd have laid it down. I want to know how tall it is. There's my Polish joke